Hello, YouTube, my only friend. How are you? I've come to speak with you again. My name is Vince White. I am an employment attorney on this channel. We have very poor lighting and we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users getting folks the answer they need from an employment attorney. The sun is out in New York City and it is at my back, and that is creating a challenging filming environment. Even worse, I'm forced to drink Starbucks today instead of Dunkin' Donuts, which makes me very sad. We have a question here from YouTube user Daisha Bolen. I don't know why I said it like that. Daisha Bolen. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. And Daisha Bolen says, excuse me. Hello, Mr. White. I have a question pertaining to pregnancy discrimination. I have a mediation in 5 days with the EEOC, which I believe this video will still be timely for because it looks like you posted this 20 hours ago. I hope it gets to you in time. I don't have representation and I am a bit unprepared. What should my settlement price be going into mediation? Pause before I go on and read the rest of the question. I normally don't answer these questions because, very specifically, the only real answer that I can make is you need to go use our playlist on how to calculate damages. Every case is different. I can't give you a valuation. I don't know enough about your case, so on and so on and so on. Now, there's two things here that are slightly different. One, this is a failure to hire case, and I think there's some value in me talking about failure to hire. Also, because it's failure to hire, there's a lot less going on. There's far fewer interactions as a total. So there's like some merit to me discussing this because it's possible that we know enough about the case to like have a meaningful conversation because there's less to know about the case. Because it was just a conversation about could I potentially get a job here, right? Which is a lot less conversation than you normally would have in the course of employment. Let's continue to read the question. Background. I went into Family Dollar and inquired about a job application I submitted online. And the manager looked me right in the face and told me I was not ready to work. That sucks. I'm not familiar with much of anything having to do with law, but I know my rights. I asked the manager if I may record the remainder of the conversation because I knew where it was headed, and he was very cocky about it and told me to go ahead. He then proceeded to tell me I was not ready to work and asked how far along pregnant I was. Once I told him, he made more comments referring to me not being able to work, and then finally stated he didn't have any work for a 5-month pregnant woman. He had employees and customers laughing at my expense, and I have it all on audio and video recording. Help me, please. Okay. Clearly, you have a claim. No question in my mind, you have a claim, and it has a valuation. Now, first and foremost, you should watch all the videos in our mediation preparation playlist because that'll help you get ready for mediation. And you should watch our videos on how to calculate damages. That will give you a good idea how to calculate damages for your case. However, let's have a quick conversation about this. So you've got great evidence. That adjusts value up, right? You've got audio of this idiot essentially giving a speech about how he is going to engage in pregnancy discrimination against you here and now. He's mocking you. He's embarrassing you in front of other people. That is a very valuable piece of evidence. Safeguard that piece of evidence. Bring it to mediation. It is the entirety of your case in many ways. Now, what is a job at Family Dollar worth? Often, in my experience, having litigated with that company a couple of times, $30,000, max $40,000 per year, depending on what the job was. If it's entry level at Family Dollar, could easily be between $20,000 and $30,000 per year. You got a failure to hire case, and generally speaking, failure to hire cases are harder to prove, so they're worth less. Here, however, your failure to hire case is not harder to prove. You have a video in which someone's basically gave a speech about how he intended to mock you and engage in pregnancy discrimination, and how he intended to do it to others. It's pretty great. He's pretty dumb. Your claim is strong. You're not represented. It's the last piece of kind of adjustment we got to do here. So they're not going to take you as seriously. That being said, you may want to stay unrepresented because pretty sure Family Dollar is going to make you an offer. And listen, if you're represented, I'm going to tell you to make a demand for 3 years of average earnings because it's a hell of a claim, right? If it was not a failure to hire case, I would say 5 if you're represented. You're not represented. So you're not going to pay an attorney between 25 and 50% of your case. So you're going to mediation alone. Where do you begin? How risk tolerant are you? If this case doesn't settle at mediation, are you going to hire an attorney and go on to federal trial? You might want to. It might be a valuable case. Might be really, depends on where you are. Depends on how the damages are calculated under state laws, where you are. But if your federal laws are your best laws, wherever you are, and you're not represented, I might tell you, it's tough. It's tough. I might tell you to start at about 2 years of average earnings. So, if you're going to make 30 per year, we're only talking 60. And then tack on some emotional damages. Doesn't sound like retaliation's in play because he was never going to hire you. So you suing now doesn't mean they're retaliating. They were pretty upfront that they were going to engage in pregnancy discrimination. I don't know that retaliation's in play. So I don't think punitive damages are in play. But you do have your economic and you have your emotional damages. Your emotional damages are real. This guy mocked you in public. And you're trying to feed, presumably, yourself and your child. And that's a stressful thing, right? Trying to get a job. So the emotional damages are very real. 2 years plus 50K. So maybe we're talking 110K. Immediately people are gonna be like, that seems low. Yeah, maybe. But we do have to adjust for the fact that you don't have representation. So your current ability to go on to litigation is very low. It's very hard to be a pro se litigant and fight a case like this. Can it be done? Sure. And you did a great job setting out your case. So you might be a person who could do it. I don't know. But it's an incredible amount of work, and it introduces an incredible amount of risk into your case. So I'm structuring your case right now as if we got to get this done at mediation. We got to be serious about getting this settled. And that might not be how you feel. If that's not how you feel, adjust it up. Let's go higher, right? You have the best evidence, right? The only better evidence would if he came in and got on the stand and said, yeah, I don't like hiring pregnant ladies. And that's why I didn't hire this one, right? Would that be better? Sure, that'd be better. But the video's close second. He also consented to the video. God only knows why, but he did. So, you're going to have fewer issues if you do go to trial later, getting that admitted, right? Hopefully, he consented while the video was running. If he didn't, you can still testify to that consent. He might later deny it. That's an issue. It's a bridge you might have to cross later in terms of an obstacle if he starts lying up a storm. But, listen, your word against his, right? So I'm not telling you have to settle this case. But I am telling you this. If you want money now, 30 days from the day of your mediation, realistically, maybe a little bit longer, depending where you are, or a little quicker, depending where you are. If you want money now, you don't want to pay an attorney 25 to 50%, and you don't want to go to litigation, probably going to tell you start at 2 years plus 50K in emotionals, which might be for you around 110K. Doesn't mean it's the only number. Doesn't mean I'm right in terms of my assumptions about what you want. Could you get more if you went to trial? Yeah, I think you sure could. I sure do. I think it could be a big big win because he sounds like a bit of an asshat, and I could see a lot of juries being disgusted by his behavior. Just blow hard, giving little speeches about openly discriminating. Not a good look in most of the country, especially if you can pack that jury with a couple of extra women. Although, frankly, when I was reading the story, if I didn't know this guy was a guy, I would have thought it was a woman. Most of the pregnancy discrimination that we see in terms of our caseload is actually perpetrated by women. But that being said, I would probably, listen, I'd have to do some research about the area you're in, but I'd probably want to select a jury with a few additional women on it if I could. And barring that, I want to get as many, like if it's going to be men, like them to have children, like them to be fathers, right? Could be valuable, could be great. Not saying you have to settle your case. Saying if you want to settle your case at this mediation, start at around 2 years plus $50,000. Hope that helps. Hope this logic helps. This is just a recommendation. This is mostly meant as a video to let people see how I think about case valuation. It is more of an art form than a science. I'm just one guy. And my recommendation is based on assumptions about you, and I don't know you or really anything about you besides you wanted to work at Family Dollar and you're pregnant. That's all I know about you, right? So my assumptions are questionable at best, probably wildly askew. Off the mark, right? I'm just trying my best here because this is what I got, trying to answer your question. Daisha Bolen, I hope this helps. I hope you get paid lots and lots and lots of money. I hope that your child is born healthy and happy and that you have a wonderful life together. I hope only good things for you. I'll be cheering for you. If you feel like it after your mediation, tell us what happened, if you can, without identifying yourself. If you're not using, don't use your real name and then talk about your mediation. I don't know if Daisha Bolen is your real name. Sounds very French to me. But if it is your real name, don't post about your case under your real name. If it's just a username and if it's sufficiently anonymous and you want to tell us a little bit about your case, I'd love to hear the follow-up. I'd probably make a video on the follow-up. I love cheering. We had a gentleman on the channel recently who won his case, and he used a little bit of help from the channel, and that made me feel better than I have felt in weeks. Which doesn't speak well for me, but does mean I really love hearing about successes from people when they use this channel. So, if you can, tell us. If this is helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps our channel to grow. Remember, not everybody works, but almost everybody does work, but not everybody wins. So be smart out there. We're cheering for you, Daisha. Take care.